Is Resident Evil Requiem a bold evolution in survival horror or a fractured legacy? On June 6, 2025, during Summer Game Fest, Capcom unveiled Resident Evil Requiem, the ninth mainline entry in the franchise, with a trailer that sent shockwaves through the gaming community. The scene opens in a decaying hospital corridor, dim fluorescent lights flickering overhead, as FBI technical analyst Grace Ashcroft awakens strapped to an examination table, her breath coming in short, panicked gasps. A grotesque, towering entity, later revealed as HAG, bursts through a wall with unnatural speed, its elongated limbs scraping against metal as it pursues her relentlessly. There are no heroic quips, no roundhouse kicks, no familiar government agent mowing down enemies with precision. Leon S. Kennedy, the series' enduring symbol of resilience and wit, who evolved from a wide-eyed rookie in Resident Evil 2 to a one-man army in Resident Evil 4 and beyond, is nowhere to be seen in the spotlight. Early rumors suggested he might be relegated to a supporting role, or perhaps even absent entirely, sparking immediate debate. Capcom has since positioned Requiem as a return to addictive fear, emphasizing psychological horror and vulnerability in a way that promises to immerse players deeper than ever before. Yet, after nearly 3 decades of crafting a unique blend of terror and triumph, this direction raises a critical question. Is Requiem a masterful evolution that honors the franchise's roots, or a risky departure that could alienate the very fans who built its legacy? With pre-orders already live and a confirmed release date of February 27, 2026 across PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, XS, PC, and even Nintendo Switch 2, the stakes have never been higher. This essay delves into every facet of Requiem, its protagonist, gameplay mechanics, narrative ties, technical achievements, and fan reactions to provide a comprehensive, fact-based analysis of whether Capcom is reinventing survival horror or fracturing its foundational identity. The journey to Resident Evil Requiem began long before its official reveal, rooted in years of fan speculation, cryptic leaks, and Capcom's strategic teases. Following the massive success of Resident Evil Village in 2021, which blended first-person immersion with third-person action elements and sold over 8 million copies, rumors of RE9 circulated wildly on forums like Reddit and X, formerly Twitter. Leaks from reliable insiders, such as Dusk Golem, hinted at a subtitle evoking finality and a shift toward more intimate, claustrophobic horror. The title Requiem itself carries symbolic weight, a musical composition for the dead, suggesting a eulogy for past traumas or perhaps the end of an era in the series. This was confirmed at Summer Game Fest 2025, where director Koshi Nakanishi, the visionary behind Resident Evil 7's groundbreaking first-person pivot, took the stage to introduce the game not as a numbered sequel, but as a standalone chapter in the saga. Subsequent showcases at Gamescom in August 2025 and Tokyo Game Show in September 2025 expanded the vision. Trailers depicted Grace Ashcroft navigating the remnants of a facility on the outskirts of the infamous Raccoon City, set approximately 30 years after the events of Resident Evil 2 and 3. Gameplay snippets showcased innovative mechanics, syringes as a new healing system replacing traditional herb mixes, a block-based inventory system reminiscent of the originals, and mutated zombies that adapt to player actions. Nakanishi has described Grace as an introverted bookworm with exceptional deductive reasoning, but minimal combat training, easily frightened, a poor communicator under stress, and prone to physical stumbles during high-tension chases. The game promises seamless switching between first-person and third-person perspectives, a stalker enemy with dynamic AI, and a narrative deeply intertwined with series lore, including Grace's lineage as the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft from the cult favorite Resident Evil Outbreak spin-offs. Controversy emerged almost immediately, while horror purists praised the focus on vulnerability as a return to the series' terrifying origins. Longtime fans expressed concern over the apparent sidelining of Leon Kennedy and a perceived overemphasis on helplessness. Leaks from the PlayStation Store, including pre-order bonuses featuring Leon's DSO costume, have since confirmed he will be playable in some capacity, potentially as a secondary character with his own campaign arc. This duality echoes the dual protagonist structure of Resident Evil 2. Nevertheless, Grace remains the central figure, marketed as the lens through which players experience this new nightmare. To evaluate Requiem fairly, we must first establish the immutable core of Resident Evil, a delicate trinity of initial vulnerability, pathways to empowerment, and intricate resource management that transforms fear into strategic triumph. This essay expands upon these pillars across multiple dimensions, incorporating official announcements, demo impressions, developer interviews, and community feedback to assess whether Requiem upholds this legacy or risks eroding it. The essence of Resident Evil has always been a masterful equilibrium, a design philosophy that distinguishes it from pure action shooters or passive horror experiences. Launched in 1996, the original Resident Evil set the template in the opulent yet deadly Spencer Mansion. Fixed camera angles and tank controls were not mere technical limitations of the PlayStation era, they were deliberate choices that amplified player disorientation and vulnerability. Every doorway transition hid potential ambushes, and the slow, deliberate movement made even elite STARS members like Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine feel fragile against shambling zombies or crimson-headed horrors. Health was precarious, a few bites could lead to a limping state or death, and inventory space was ruthlessly limited, forcing constant triage, carry the shotgun, which occupies 2 precious slots, or prioritize healing items and key progression objects. Yet, crucially, players were never truly powerless. From the opening moments, a handgun was available, with knives for desperate close-quarters defense. Ammo conservation became an art form. Should you expend bullets on a pair of zombies blocking a hallway, or risk dodging them to preserve resources for an anticipated boss? Saving required ink ribbons at typewriters, adding another layer of strategy. The horror derived not from absolute helplessness, but from the precarious gap between overwhelming threats and limited hard-earned tools. Discovering a Magnum revolver or stockpiling shotgun shells felt profoundly rewarding because it stemmed from careful planning and exploration. This loop, scavenge, decide, survive, formed the strategic heartbeat of the series. Resident Evil 2 in 1998 refined this with dual campaigns for Leon and Claire, introducing the rookie cop archetype that mirrored player inexperience. Leon's first day on the Raccoon City police force turned apocalyptic, yet he adapted, learning to board up windows, solve puzzles, and confront lickers with flash grenades. The prototype for stalker enemies appeared in the form of Mr. X, whose thundering footsteps signaled temporary flight, but the core gameplay revolved around combat and resource allocation. Resident Evil 3 in 1999 escalated pursuits with Nemesis, a relentless hunter who could burst through walls, but again, stealth was optional. Players could stand and fight with dodged rockets or powerful weapons. The pivotal shift came with Resident Evil 4 in 2005, which sold over 12 million copies and redefined third-person action. Abandoning tank controls for an over-the-shoulder camera, it made Leon more agile, capable of suplexes and quick turns, while introducing faster, smarter granados. On the surface, it leaned action-heavy, but the soul of survival horror persisted. Ammo remained scarce, enemies attacked in hordes, and knife parries demanded precision. The narrative arc was emblematic, from fleeing a chainsaw-wielding villager in the opening village siege to unleashing a rocket launcher on mutated bosses. This progression from prey to predator encapsulated the empowerment fantasy. Criticism of overaction in Resident Evil 5 and 6 prompted a reset with Resident Evil 7 in 2017. Returning to first person, it placed every man, Ethan Winters, in the Baker family's mold-infested estate. Armed initially with just a knife, Ethan faced immortal stalkers like Jack Baker, but agency was preserved through crafting, chem fluids combined for health injectors or enhanced ammo. Boss battles required strategy, and the claustrophobia heightened tension without removing tools. Resident Evil Village in 2021 built on this, adding Lady Dimitrescu as a memorable pursuer while allowing upgrades and merchant interactions. The remakes further polished the formula. Resident Evil 2 remakes adaptive Mr. XAI, Resident Evil 3 remakes phased Nemesis encounters, and Resident Evil 4 remakes parry mechanics. Across all, the Trinity holds: vulnerability sets the stage, empowerment provides catharsis, and resource management ties it together. Requiem, with its early game focus on evasion and Grace's inherent fragility, echoes Resident Evil 7's dread but must ensure escalation to maintain balance. Demos suggest this, starting with no weapons and pure stealth, transitioning to makeshift tools and eventual firearms, but over-reliance on the former could disrupt the loop. Resident Evil's enduring appeal owes much to its iconic protagonists, each embodying growth through adversity. Chris Redfield debuted as a burly STARS member in the original, evolving into a BSAA veteran punching boulders in Resident Evil 5. Jill Valentine, the master of unlocking, survived the mansion and Nemesis, her resourcefulness defining clever survival. Claire Redfield protected Sherry Birkin amid Raccoon City's chaos, her maternal resolve shining in Code Veronica. Ethan Winters, the reluctant dad in 7 and Village, fought with scavenged ingenuity. Leon S. Kennedy stands tallest. Introduced in Resident Evil 2 as a naive officer, he navigated zombie hordes and solved intricate puzzles, his survival mirroring the player's learning curve. By Resident Evil 4, government training transformed him into a quippy protector rescuing Ashley Graham, his competence reflecting player mastery after years with the series. Appearances in Resident Evil 6, Degeneration, and Damnation cemented him as the franchise's face, witty, skilled, unflappable. Director Nakanishi explained excluding him as the sole lead. Leon's action hero persona clashed with Requiem's intimate horror, yet leaks confirm playability, likely in later sections or alternate scenarios, positioning him as a foil to Grace, perhaps a mentor or parallel storyline. Grace Ashcroft enters as a deliberate contrast. Voiced and modeled after actress Julia Pratt, she is an FBI intelligence analyst with intense focus and insight in deductive reasoning. Her mother, Alyssa Ashcroft from Resident Evil Outbreak, provides a lore bridge. Outbreak's journalist surviving Raccoon City outbreaks, now passing the torch. Grace is described as introverted, easily scared, and clumsy under pressure. Trailers show her whispering to herself during chases, stumbling over debris, and recovering slowly from falls. Healing involves self-administered syringes, emphasizing her non-combat background. This vulnerability aims to heighten immersion. Players feel her panic viscerally. Deduction puzzles play to her strengths, scanning environments for clues. Critics argue this risks passivity, akin to Outlast's defenseless protagonists. However, if Grace grows, acquiring weapons, building confidence, it aligns with Ethan Winters' arc. Success depends on this progression. Without it, she undermines the empowerment pillar. Leon's inclusion could balance this, creating a dual narrative where his competence contrasts her fear, enriching the fantasy. Requiem's mechanics blend tradition with innovation, as revealed in closed demos and public trailers. Perspective switching occurs via a menu toggle. First person enhances immersion, making Hag's pursuits visceral, claws scraping windows, shadows distorting. Third person aids spatial awareness during action, with Grace's unique animations, stumbles, panicked glances, persisting. The Stalker Hag is a highlight, a ceiling-crawling abomination averse to light, exploitable with a Zippo lighter or environmental sources. Distractions include throwable bottles, hiding spots like lockers or underbeds. AI is RE engine-powered, adapting paths unpredictably. Resources return to classics, block inventory, Tetris, syringes for healing, potentially craftable, and greens that may induce mutations for risk-reward. Early sections emphasize evasion, no guns, pure hide-and-seek in the Rhodes Hill Care Center. Later, combat emerges, makeshift weapons, then firearms. Puzzles involve keys, fuses, and lore documents tying to Raccoon remnants. Concerns center on stealth dominance, potentially causing fatigue, as in Alien, Isolation. Yet hybrid design, escalating to RE4 style shootouts, preserves strategy, ammo scarcity, enemy variety, adapting zombies, and boss phases ensure depth. Defenders claim Requiem mirrors Resident Evil 7's success. Ethan was vulnerable but fought. Grace follows suit, learning amid terror. Accusations of action whining miss the point. Critics seek preserved struggle, not explosions. Previews laud tension without tedium. Plot begins with mysterious deaths at the Remnant Hotel, escalating to hospital horrors. Set 30 years post-destruction, mutated threats echo Umbrella's legacy. Alyssa cameos possible. Leon's role may involve mentorship or romantic undertones from leaks. Requiem honors Resident Evil through vulnerability leading to duo empowerment. Risks include overstealth, but potential for Game of the Year 2026 is immense. It could cement Capcom's horror dominance if the balance holds. February 27, 2026 will decide triumph or Requiem for the soul.